What's up, everybody? It's Jordan, and welcome to the Sports 200 Show. And in this video, this is the first installment of Mock Monday. For each Monday, more likely up until the NFL Draft, I'll be giving out a mock draft on a Monday, talking about some different scenarios and different stuff like that for the NFL Draft. So since the regular season of the NFL is over and the top 10 in the NFL Draft order is already set, this video will consist a NFL mock draft of the top 10 picks in the NFL. So I will go ahead and get started here. The Jacksonville Jaguars have the first pick, and there's really no surprise who this will be. It will obviously be Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence. Lawrence is one of the best quarterback prospects ever. Him and Burrow are like the best quarterback prospects since Andrew Luck since 2012. Lawrence is really great. His running is very underrated. He reminds me of a little bit of a mobile Peyton Manning. But I think the Jaguars would draft Lawrence. Surprise absolutely nobody, and it'll be a great pick by Jacksonville. Number 2, this is where I have a surprise pick. I have the New York Jets selecting BYU quarterback Zach Wilson. To me, Zach Wilson is the second best quarterback in the draft, and at times, when you watch film, he even looks like he could potentially be the best quarterback. I do think Lawrence is better, but I'm very high on Zach Wilson. I know Justin Fields had a tremendous game in the college football playoffs against Clemson, but the last several games, Fields has not been playing up to his value and what he should be playing as. Zach Wilson has played great pretty much just every single game this year. He was in top 10 in the Heisman voting. He's a great quarterback. He reminds me of a little bit of Kyler Murray. I think the Jets would draft Zach Wilson. That would be a great job by New York. Third is the Miami Dolphins. This should be the Houston Texans pick, but with a trade with Laremy Tunsil, the Dolphins receive the Texans' first-round pick. I think the Dolphins here will draft Oregon offensive tackle Penei Sewell. He did not play this year, but he's the best offensive lineman in this draft. He's one of the best offensive lineman prospects in a very long time. And despite them drafting some offensive linemen earlier this past draft, their offensive line still wasn't great. But if they have him and a decent offensive line, I think that'll be a great protection for Tua, Fitzpatrick, whoever's starting in Miami. That'd be a great pick for Miami. You really can't get better than that. Number 4, the Atlanta Falcons. I have the Atlanta Falcons drafting Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields. Matt Ryan is getting older. He's aging. He's not playing what he used to be. He doesn't have a whole lot of years in his contract left. They can maybe play Ryan a year, then have Fields take over, similar to what the Chiefs did with Alex Smith and Mahomes, or even did what the Packers did with Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Maybe set Fields a year. I think Fields could potentially be a really good quarterback. The thing with me is that he just holds the ball too long, which could be an issue in the NFL. But that can be worked on. But if Atlanta would take Fields at number 4, I think that'd be a really smart decision. That's if he's available. And if Fields wouldn't be there and then Zach Wilson is available, I think regardless, I think Atlanta has to consider at least taking quarterback. Like I mentioned, Ryan's getting older. And if you want to win, you have to have a great quarterback in the NFL. And Ryan's not really used to be. And I really think Atlanta should consider a quarterback in the first round. Number 5, this is where it gets really interesting. I have no idea who the Bengals will take at number 5. You know, being a Bengal fan, you may expect who the Bengals might take. The possibilities are really endless. Let's say the Bengals don't re-sign corner William Jackson. They could potentially get Farley from Virginia Tech or Patrick Surtain from Alabama. Devontae Smith, Pitts, Jamar Chase, former teammate of Joe Burrow. Or if they want to reach and take Slater, the second best offensive tackle. And just to really, you have no idea who they're going to take. In this, I know wide receiver might not be in need, but I have them going Devontae Smith. Devontae Smith this season could potentially win the Heisman as a wide receiver. That just proves how good he is. He is phenomenal. He has 20 touchdowns this season. He had over 100 yards and 3 touchdowns against Oklahoma. If you pair him with Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd, that is going to be an amazing trio of receivers and a great young NFL quarterback. And that could be a nightmare for NFL defenses. But Smith to Cincinnati would be a great pick. But if Penei Sewell is not available, do not be surprised at all if the Cincinnati Bengals would trade back. I really think that would be the best case scenario for the Bengals because, I mean, you don't absolutely need a wide receiver, and you don't really want to reach for tackle or offensive lineman because no tackle or offensive lineman should go number 5 unless it's Penei Sewell. So if Sewell is gone, don't be surprised at all if Cincinnati would trade back. Number 6, I had the Philadelphia Eagles selecting LSU wide receiver Jamar Chase. Chase opted out this season, and the year he played in 2019 had a sensational year as well. He had around 20 touchdowns, and the Eagles would finally select the LSU receiver that they should have took last season. They should have took Justin Jefferson, but instead they took Jalen Reagor, the TCU wide receiver. I think the Eagles would draft Chase. That would make their offense a lot better, give them some more weapons, and Hurts being their quarterback, give him somebody finally to throw to, especially with the reports possibly coming out that Zach Ertz may not be with the Eagles next year. They definitely need to have some weapons for a young quarterback like Hurts, or he will struggle a lot in the NFL. Number 7, I have the Detroit Lions. This is a surprise pick as well, and whoever the Detroit Lions select, this has a lot to do who they have as their new head coach. I'd say they get an offensive-minded guy, or maybe a guy like Robert Saleh, currently the defense coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers. They could maybe get Kwity Paye, the Michigan defensive end, or they can get Micah Parsons. You're not really sure who they could take. But I actually have them taking Trey Lance, the quarterback from North Dakota State. Lance just played one game this past year, but the year prior he had 42 touchdowns and 0 interceptions. He kind of reminds me a little bit of Russell Wilson. He's not the biggest, but he's really, really mobile. He's a great thrower, has a really nice deep ball. The thing with him is that the level of competition is a big question mark, like I said, because he played at North Dakota State, and the amount of games he's played. He only played 1 full year starting. That could lead to some question marks, although in the competition, you could make the argument Carson Wentz, he also did play at North Dakota State, so you're not really sure what you will get out of Trey Lance. Be really interested to see where he goes to. But like I said, the Lions, just like the Bengals, the possibilities are endless. But with the Lions, it has a lot to do who they select as a new head coach. If Robert Saleh is a new head coach of the Detroit Lions, expected to be a defensive player, but as of right now, I had the Lions selecting Trey Lance, the quarterback from North Dakota State. Number 8, this could be a couple of different ways too. I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Carolina Panthers would select Florida tight end Kyle Pitts, maybe be their next Greg Olsen. But Matt Rule loves defensive players. Every single draft pick for the Carolina Panthers last season was a defensive player, and I think they will continue that trend at least for the first round this year. I think they will select Penn State linebacker Micah Parsons. Parsons did not play this past year because he opted out of the college football season due to the coronavirus. But Parsons is the best linebacker prospect in this draft. I think they will try to make Parsons be their next Luke Kuechly, their linebacker, their star linebacker for the next decade. And he has all the potential. He is amazing. You watch his film against Memphis and one of the New Year's Six Bowls. I've not really seen much of a better performance from a linebacker watching film than him. He's amazing, and if the Carolina Panthers were to select Parsons, that would be an absolute great pick and a great value there for number 8. Number 9 is the Denver Broncos, and the Denver Broncos, to me, I've seen some reports see the Broncos take a quarterback depending who's available. I don't think that's the case. I have the Denver Broncos selecting Alabama cornerback Patrick Surtain. Harris was not with the Broncos this past season. This was his first year out of Denver. The Denver Broncos do have A.J. Boye, but he is a free agent at the end of the season, so they need some cornerbacks in Denver. They don't really have much at all, and Boye is a free agent at the end of next season. You don't really have anybody, so go ahead and get Surtain. That would have him for at least 4 or 5 years. That would be a great pick by Denver. And my final pick of this top 10 mock draft, I have the Dallas Cowboys selecting Virginia Tech cornerback Caleb Farley. He did not play this year due to the coronavirus as well. And this past season, the Cowboys have lost Byron Jones in free agency to the Miami Dolphins, and the Cowboys defense has struggled a lot. They really need some more corners. Their defense isn't really good. If they would get Caleb Farley, I think that would be a really nice pick, a great value, and it's really a team needs too. He would be one of the top picks and one of the best players available at the number 10 pick. So I think Dallas Cowboys should draft Caleb Farley at number 10. So this was my top 10 NFL mock draft, my mock Monday. Expect more of these videos as we close out the NFL season, especially once we get into free agency. If you all can like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time on the Sports Dude Hunt Show.